And that is where we start this morning. We have a live look over Keystone on the left side where it is currently dumping snow. That is set to stop soon. And then on the right, a look over the metro area where we're getting a little break from the storms, but that break will be short-lived. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Good morning, everybody. If you are like me, you may have to scrape off your cars from some of that snow overnight. Let's get a closer look at your forecast now with senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we had that meteorological potpourri. We had I got nonstop questions about what is falling from the sky right now, which is only in Denver, Colorado do you get that sort of stuff. But we had a mix of graupel. Most of you saw graupel. Then it turned over to snow. It started as rain. We had a clap of thunder that scared the living out of my dog last night. Meantime, 34 degrees for us right now with some clouds for us here in the Denver area and southeast Colorado. Still seeing a little bit of that leftover snow shower activity here right along Highway 50. That's coming to a close. It is snowing in the mountains, but generally some light snow this morning there in the high country. That's coming to a close here. 30s right now, Eastern Plains. Again, you got to scrape off that car, as Jordan was saying today. 50 degrees, partly cloudy skies. May see a few flakes this afternoon. Looks pretty low impact. Those temperatures getting up into the mid-40s later on today. However, we could see some pretty notable snow later this week. 2 more waves of snow to go. 1 tomorrow and a better chance for snow Friday night and Saturday. Details in my full forecast.
Chris, thank you so much. It is 5:01 and we want to get you started with a live look this morning. I've got 2 I-70 cameras. This is in the metro area at 270. Really what we're just dealing with on our main interstates is just wet roads out here. We're not seeing accumulation, but certainly a little bit slick. So be careful, take it a little bit slower as you head out the door. This is in the mountains, I-70 near the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel area where, again, snow's still falling up that way. Definitely bigger impacts to our high country roads. Plows still working their way to keep things clear up that way. We do have active chain and traction laws for the I-70 mountain corridor. So I want to bring you over to our drive headlines for your Wednesday. I-70 chain and traction laws this morning from Georgetown into Vail. Loveland Pass is closed right now because of the snow. Metro area relatively quiet, just a little bit of slickness is what we're dealing with. I mentioned those active chain and traction laws. So just make sure you've got snow tires, chains, 4-wheel or all-wheel drive. Metro area though, quiet and clear for the most part, even though it's a little bit slick. No major crashes or slow spots.
Erica, thank you. In less than 4 hours, the man accused of shooting and killing 2 people in a dorm room at UCCS back in February is set to be in court. Police say Nicholas Jordan killed his roommate, Samuel Knopp, and a woman, Celia Rain Montgomery, on February 16th. An arrest affidavit says Jordan threatened to kill Knopp earlier in the year after Knopp left a bag of trash near Jordan's door. They also argued over Jordan smoking marijuana in their dorm. Jordan will be in court today for a motions hearing ahead of his trial, which is slated to start Monday. We'll keep an eye on what happens this morning and bring you any new developments.
Right now, Aurora police are searching for the person who threw rocks at a synagogue. The agency released these stills from surveillance footage. They say this person broke several windows at the Orr Avenue Synagogue on East Mississippi in Aurora. This happened Sunday night around 8:30. And if you have any information about the crime, you are asked to call Aurora police. Their number is 303-739-1680. It's also listed there at the bottom of your screen.
This morning, we are learning more about the woman wanted in connection to a murder last month. DPD says this is who they're looking for, 35-year-old KUSA James. Police say she is wanted for a shooting that happened just after 10 p.m. on March 20th that left a woman dead. It happened on East Bruce Randolph Avenue, 2 blocks west of York Street. If you know where James is, call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. The number is 720-913-7867. It's also listed on the bottom of your screen. You can remain anonymous and earn up to $2,000.
This morning, the wave of student revocations sweeping the nation has hit Colorado. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says that he is looking to deport students involved in activism. 9 News reporter Courtney Yunus joining us live in studio now. And Courtney, we know of 9 college students in our state who've been impacted.
The visas of 5 international students at Colorado State University and 4 at the University of Colorado are getting revoked. A spokesperson for CU says their students' F1 visas were pulled by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. A Denver-based immigration attorney says this could be a First Amendment right violation. CU says the affected international students were on its Boulder and Colorado Springs campuses. This is all happening after last week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the administration was revoking at least 3 300 student visas, saying they're, quote, not here to lead activist movements. Denver-based immigration attorney Matt Shaftel says Rubio and the Trump administration are revoking visas from people who oppose the U.S. position on foreign policy. He says the administration is setting up a battle over who the First Amendment protects.
Basically, what Marco Rubio is saying is, and he used this analogy in one article, if you come to my house and you disrespect me in my house in some way, and evidently that applies to even speech, I have a right to kick you out.
Students across the nation have been detained by ICE or subject to visa revocations at Columbia University, Cornell, the University of Minnesota, and Tufts University, according to the Associated Press. NBC News reports the Trump administration has targeted students who participated in pro-Palestinian protests. We're working today to confirm which countries these students in Colorado are from and whether they were involved in protests before their visas were pulled. We're also trying to learn if students at any other Colorado college or universities are impacted. In the studio, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Courtney, thank you. This morning, a second man who escaped from the ICE detention center in Aurora is back in custody. The U.S. Marshal Service says they arrested Glilon Vito Romero on a bus at Colfax and Cherry Street in Denver yesterday. Aurora police say he and another man walked out of the ICE facility 2 weeks ago after a power outage caused an exit door to unlock. The other man was arrested a couple of days later. The U.S. Marshal Service claims Vito Romero is associated with the gang Tren de Aragua, but would not share why they believe that. The Trump administration's claims about gang ties have been challenged as shoddy, and some detainees haven't had the chance to challenge the evidence against them.
This morning, the Justice Department says it wants a 20-year federal prison sentence for a Coloradan accused of vandalizing a Tesla showroom in Loveland. Denver police arrested Cooper Joe Frederick after he threw an explosive at the Tesla building on March 7th, causing 2 cars to catch fire. Officials say the building and several cars were also damaged by rocks. Attorney General Pam Bondi says that Frederick is now facing federal charges and calls his actions an act of terrorism.
I've made it clear, if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars.
Right now, Frederick is being held on a $20,000 cash bond. If a judge signs off on a 20-year sentence, that would be a longer sentence than the average time served for murder in America, according to federal statistics.
This morning, business owners and shoppers across the country are bracing for the next expensive hit from President Trump's tariffs. The taxes on imported goods are expected on every country.
Whatever they charge us, we charge them, but we're being nicer than they were because they know.
The president's announcement on what he has named Liberation Day is expected to initiate a trade war with our closest allies. And while he says he has a plan, the size and scope of the tariffs are still a mystery, and the uncertainty could lead to higher prices for most U.S. industries. Trump has already targeted some of the biggest trade partners of the U.S. with tariffs. Most have hit back with countermeasures.
Now to a live look at our nation's capital. Today, the CEO of Boeing is set to testify before Congress. Kelly Ortberg is expected to tell the panel that his company's recent missteps are unacceptable. An email he sent to employees previewed his testimony. He admits the company still has a lot of work to do, but says that Boeing is starting to turn the corner. Ortberg says the aircraft manufacturer is making fundamental changes to fix its work culture and strengthen safety and quality.
This week, a senior Russian negotiator is expected to visit Washington to meet with top Trump official Steve Witkoff. The talk between Witkoff and Kirill Dmitriev will focus on strengthening relations between the two countries as they seek to end the war in Ukraine. That's according to sources familiar with the plans. The visit will mark the first time a senior Russian official has visited Washington, D.C. for talks since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022.